At, you know,
Well, no sweat, yeah.
right? But if we lock in to a long-term bond at what the current, what did you say it was?
Approximately right now it'd be at 3.2, 3.25 for 20 years.
I mean, it seems like, you know.
Any other discussion on the budget, John?
On the budget, I just want to correct Councilwoman Zendaya that this debt issue does not affect the budget. What this council is seeking to do is to reduce the amount of money that it paid last year, between last year and this year, on the utility fund. They're going to reduce the debt service amount by $32,000. They're going to, on the current fund, the general purposes budget, they're reducing the debt service by $46,000. They're playing games with your money. It's not about me buying a house. It's about this council prudently spending the people's money. And they're playing a game with the people of this town with respect to pushing off debt.
Anyone else like to speak to this?
I completely disagree. It's not about pushing off debt, it's about a strategy for debt and how to have a good strategy that manages the debt long term. That's what we're talking about. Anything else is just a political statement.
Yeah,
well,
I think that we
Excuse me. We have three people speaking at once. Patty.
I think the problem is that we're such a small town. We're not like, you know, Newark that brings out these big bonds. When we need money, we don't need a big municipal bond, and that's really what, you know, the lenders want to see. This might be a year where we actually need a really big bond with all the equipment that we need to buy, and then we can rule some of this short-term debt that we're going to have to be paying the principal on. We can roll that into the same bond and have one note. I think it's really overall will be a much better payment for us.
Mayor?
Tom?
Yeah, you know, and Rich, you know, it's absolutely not a political motivation on my part. I think planning ahead and not going into a problem in the future is my goal, and I would like to think it's your goal as well.
Absolutely is.
So just continually borrowing and doing interest only, I think, is irresponsible. It's not in the best interest of the taxpayer. That's my belief.
Thank you. Sarah, did you want to say anything? You haven't had a chance to jump in. Did you want to? Okay.
No,
Rich?
I really don't.
Okay. Rich?
I just wanted to say further to the point, along with what Patty was saying, Ms. Zendaya, is that we have right now some very long-term structural needs that we have to fill. But at the same time, we just can't fill them and dump them on the back of the taxpayer.
I agree.
So we have to plan a long-term strategy. My biggest criticism of municipal government has always been that it's always about this 1 year. It's not about this 1 year. It is about 5 years from now and 10 years from now. And we can plan for that.
But that's the point, Rich. The point is, this year, between last year and this year, you keep hearing how you want to bring in a budget that's got no tax increase. I do too. But you don't do it by decreasing the debt service by $78,000 between last year and this year. That's a fraud.
Anyone else like to speak?
I just want to point out that Councilman Brennan did this last year too, the whole, you know, oh, everything's, the sky's falling routine. And we made it through last year. It was a tight budget, we did a 0 increase, and we made it through by a surplus, you know, not a lot, but we did have a surplus. What is a surplus? The surplus is overtaxing the people of Spring Lake Heights. So we were able to make cuts, we made a lot more cuts, and when we had the budget meeting, the Democrats came with no cuts. They came, Councilman Brennan wanted to put $50,000 on the line.
Excuse me, wait, Patty, could you stop accusing people? Let's just keep to the budget.
I just want to point out that Councilman Brennan came to a budget cutting workshop and wants to put $50,000 on the capital improvement line, which has not paid out anything since 2008. And in 2008, we only paid out $7,000 on that line. So the idea that we need to increase a line by $50,000 when he doesn't even say what he wants it for. I mean, he didn't come in and say, we need it for this. He just said, we need it because The sky is falling.
No, with all due respect, if I could please respond to these personal accusations by Ms. Zendaya.
They start this already. It's not even close to November.
Well, let me just say
Let
this,
John say something.
if I could. My proposal at the budget meeting last Monday night was that we not hire a municipal clerk because we have an acting municipal clerk. It relieves the pressure from the salary and benefits side of the budget, and the savings, part of the savings of that, $50,000, I suggested that we put into the capital fund so that we can make capital purchases in the future without having to go to debt. That's what I said.
Way to go.
Thank you,
Way to
John,
go.
thank you. Sarah?
In reference to the borough clerk, since Mr. Brennan brought it up, we have a borough clerk slot in the budget. The position is going to be at a very, very low rate in comparison to what we were paying in the past, to the tune of probably somewhere in the vicinity of $25,000 to $30,000 less.
32.
Patty just said 32, to employ a person who is highly qualified. The person who is presently serving as the borough clerk is our deputy borough clerk. When we put out applications to apply for this position, Janine did not apply. Now granted, Janine does not have some of the certifications that she should have. However, she did not still apply. And in talking to her today, she is very relieved that we are going to hopefully tonight hire a new person for that position. You have to have a borough clerk. You can't continue to run a town without a borough clerk. So this is not something that we should just shove under the carpet and not do. It has to be done.
All right, anyone else want to speak to the budget?
I think this is part of the budget, Fran, because
Oh, I
he's
thought you were
talking,
just finished.
no, because he's talking about a $50,000
All right, Sarah, finish, please.
item. And Fran, that's another thing. I can't tell you how many times I have spoke and you have said to me, hurry up or finish.
No, I thought you
All
were
these
finished
other
when you
people
said-
get to talk, and now you're gonna tell me
Sarah,
I
I
can't
even
talk.
asked you. if
I know
wanted
you
to
did,
talk.
but I didn't have anything at the time.
Go ahead.
The other thing that I think you people should be aware of is that there are several things that come up for votes in this town. You vote for the school, you vote for the fire, you vote for a lot of different things. When you go to vote for those things, you should keep in mind that those things can play a big, important part on your taxes going up. And unfortunately, a lot of people do not go out and vote for those various items. So I just want to remind you that the fire company's budget passed, the school budget is coming up. Really some of these things are under the residents' control, and I think that, you should take the opportunity and go and vote for these things that can destine the tax increase.
Just before we vote on this, the CFO has an amendment, there's a correction on one of the pages. We'll make sure we recognize it before we.
I just want to give it out, it's on the budget message page. There was a piece that was supposed to be included and I printed it.
For the record, it looks like sheet 3B.
Thank you, Connie.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I do want to make a point though too about the fact that, our budget for our entire town, with all our employees and all the buildings and public works and their fleet and everything else, is around 5 million, a little over 5 million, whereas the school board budget's over 80 million. So when you have a budget, and we have a 2% increase versus the school has a 2% increase, it's a difference there, because just by virtue of how much each budget is, so.
Did the school budget fail 2 years in a row?
Yes,
It failed 2 years in a row, right?
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years in a row,
Failed.
yeah, so they actually got
Yeah.
cut, I think, to the tune of 150,000.
Anyone else want to speak to the budget? Janine, could I have roll call, please, on the resolution just introducing the 2011 budget?
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Ms. Zendaya?
Yes,
Mr. Diver?
Yes.
Ms. King?
Yes.
Mr. Mechanical?
Yes.
Mr. Borbeck?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Resolution number 54, 2011, a resolution appointing a borough clerk. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Any discussion? May I have a roll call?
Is this to appoint the borough clerk?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I just said.
Yeah,
Is there any
I didn't have-
discussion?
Yeah, yeah, I didn't have a chance to speak.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, I think Ms. King is right, we probably do need a clerk, but what I would say is I don't necessarily think we need one today. We're under a lot of economic stress. We have someone who's doing a very admirable job, and I would encourage her actually to apply. I don't think we need to spend money.
May anyone else like to speak to
I would
this?
just say that,
Microphone.
sure, the borough clerk position became open after.
John, speak into the mic, they can't hear you.
I am speaking.
Now, get it closer.
The borough clerk's
That's it.
position became open at the end of last year as a result of the prior occupant of that office not being reappointed. The statute that council's referred to provides for a position that every municipality must have a borough clerk or a municipal clerk, but that there can be an acting borough clerk. We have an acting